Right, boys and girls, this little webcasty thing is to try to help you use the tools that I think I've made available in a fashion that is smart. First things first, go get the tools. COMPUTINE-COMPANION.com. These are the tabletop ones, your PC level stuff as opposed to the mainframe things. So we zip into there. Installation and ordering, because I'm sure you would have read all the documentation that's there to make sense out of it. And yes, we have read the documentation. So it's going to download this guy. So we'll open when it's done. We're going to need to take the software and put it onto our PC to make it usable. Each of these targets a particular item using code, with the how-to being a handy little list of things to show you the way that it works. And that's what I'm going to be doing here, using those particular things. So we paste them in here. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay, in the how-to, there's a bunch of sample files, and for strobe, there's a couple of strobe samples. XMIT view, there's some XMIT file that we're done, stuff that's handy. Why don't we first let's try XMIT view just for the heck of it. There be the jar file that we're going to execute, because all this stuff comes in jars. This one is a not terribly odd method of opening up I'm looking for the how-tos, FGH, how-to. And we're doing the XMIT views. They'll be in there, XMIT view. And let's pick this thing, which is a PDS. Look, there's two members in there. We can open that one and look at it to be happy, or we could open the other one and be happy, or you can do a download type thing. Save the selected file, and we'll save it there because you got nothing better to save it in. Bump. That's how it works. Not terribly difficult. The other bits, the defreeze frame, which is a little different in that it takes a directory, a whole bunch of files, and parses a lot of them into a spreadsheet. Secret thing is spreadsheet. It's actually going to look like an XML file, but we were going to open it with Excel. These are fairly old guys, so I need to go back in time to be able to pick it out. Otherwise, it'll pass them over, because that's what we did. Alright, there's the freeze frame guys, which will be there with the start button. We processed them all, but lo and behold, somebody had a kick system in there that only went down to 3 levels of reporting. The challenge is that you can't get the CSEC within program if you only get 3 levels of reporting. Silly bunt. But it's manufactured this wonderful piece in, where's our how-to? Wonderful piece in the place, there she be, in the place that we had the freeze frames located. So if we start up this guy, do an open of that, open it with Excel. Don't try to get around it by double-clicking on the item in question. You'll really be very unhappy. Boom. We get a front page and file summary, the jobs that were there. Let's make it prettier. Job step, the other basic sort of overhead statistics, whether it was a batch job or an online type of job. The online guys get parsed out into the transactions sheet. And it's really just taken the data that's in the freeze frame, the percentage value that's related to this particular guy in there, and if you're really keen, that would be the line number in the file that that particular piece of data was taken from. Generally, the first thing you want to do this is pivot it, because data is great, but pivoting data makes it a whole lot more reasonable. Batch, these are the batch jobs that ran, same kind of parsing that comes out. Database stuff, the database stuff that was parsed out, again, with the bits that are of interest. And hotspots was a great idea, but I don't care. No, we don't want to save it, because we're so much smarter than that. So instead, we went up, don't really care about that either, do we? The other guy that was freeze frame strobe, Strobe's the same kind of way. You start up the guy in question. Lo and behold, it comes to life. Again, I got some old files, so we'll go sort of a bit back in time. Finding the files. That was in our how-to bucket. In the sample files. It was the Strobe guys. So let's do that one. Boom! Same process, it just parses stuff. In the fashion that was done by the other guy. You're probably tired of listening to me by now. We'll show you that it's there now. Look, there's another thingy that we're going to open up with Excel, because Excel knows what it means. This is the Strobe guys. We opened it up, and it's, you can tell, the same guy that was used for the freeze frame, but it tastes Strobe stuff. Same reporting type information. The data that's taken out is handy to look at, but you're probably going to want to pivot it because it's sort of crappy. Transactions and transactions, so multiple cakes regions would come up with just a whole bunch more rows. Batch jobs, multiple batch jobs, again would have more rows. Pivot, 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 because it makes the world a great place. And databases, you get a little database stuff. Some attribution, which Strobe is nice enough to do for us. So this guy takes that attribution section and copies it here. If you know what an attribution section does, then you'll be able to use that really quickly and really easily. Alright, so DC Monitor, XMID View, did we do that one? I forgot. Let's try HSM Strip because it's sort of another variation on the theme. This one is slightly different. It only takes one file at a time because it's just that way. In our world of how-to, we got our sample files, HSM Strip. This is just, you gotta hit the start button, just parsing out the data in the job log. Kind of a nice way to sort of say it. And it put it back into the place that we took our raw data from, so it's there. Look, there it is as an XML document. Yay! Which, of course, first thing I'm going to do, HSM Strip, is to open it up with Excel. And lo and behold, you have a number of items, a message that got pumped out that was scraped with a few bits of information, the hour, the date, the time. In this case, number recycled, the number of things that got recycled, the count value that was in the message. There's some other bits, space management. So you're doing your PSM bit, that volume. How many? Not doing a whole lot here, is it? Boy, that's a pretty crappy system. Wonder why they're even doing anything. There were some other bits that got parsed into this particular place, which is the interval management and the PSM, to make it easier to see in this particular fashion. And a bunch of messages that we didn't look at, but they're there, so you might want to say, that should have been parsed out. It would be smarter if Ken changed his process to do that, because Ken's always happy to make it better. Those guys, Strobes, parse them up, take a directory worth of Strobe files and munch them all together in one big collection spreadsheet. Same with freeze frames, take the APAs for freeze frames and do that. XMID, if you got an XMID file that you happen to want to look at, you want to take some data off the mainframe and make it viewable on this guy, XMID View could be the one for you. HSM Strip does HSM. DC Monitor, if you had a DC Monitor, does that. The how-tos to make it how-toable. Pretty simple. Hopefully that makes it really easy to understand how to get these tools to work. The big challenge is going to be pivoting the data and making sense out of it, but you've already got that challenge. This just takes the paper reports and makes some Excel spreadsheets so you can do it in a more meaningful fashion, I hope. Bye now.